So we're going to begin in Sukhasana. Please take your seat, let the hands release in a comfortable way onto the knees, into the lap. Let the eyes close and we'll find our Ujjayi breath. We'll bring the palms together at heart center. And as you're falling into that steady inhale and exhale, really establishing your awareness in this very foundational piece of our practice. Everything that we build in our yoga asana practice is built upon this relationship to our breathing. Either keeping the hands right here at the heart or let the fingertips rise to the forehead. Align with your intention for practice today, or perhaps align with your intention for this day ahead. We'll return the hands to heart center and open the space with a round of Om, followed by the Shanti mantra invocation. We'll exhale the breath and inhale deeply together. Sahana avatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Nourished together, may we be protected together. May our study of yoga be vigorous and effective. May the light of understanding shine beyond all limitation. May we be in perfect harmony with one another. May there be peace, peace, peace. With that Ujjayi breath, let the eyes softly open and we'll send the arms out and up overhead. Take the fingers wide, the arms into a V. Look up, Prana Mudra here. Squeeze the muscles of the arms around the arm bones. Root the shoulder blades down the back. We'll take one more breath, broad through the chest. And as we exhale, chin to chest, fingertips touch the shoulders. Stretching through the neck. Inhale again, open up, look up, lift up, exhale. Chin to chest and stretch the back of the neck. Good. With your breath, a few more times like this. It's almost like we can imagine a bright sun up there in this early morning that we're awakening to, embracing the light, embracing the new day. We'll take one more like this. And as you exhale now, head stays neutral, hands to the tops of the shoulders. Go ahead and circle those elbows all the way around. Lots of breath as we make big exploratory circles, warming through the shoulder. And in the other direction. The elbows may or may not touch along the front side of the body. Good. One more circle here. Interlace the hands in front of you. Press the palms out and send the arms up to the sky. Drop the chin to the chest. Now, as you flatten the palms to the ceiling, index fingers are lifting to the ceiling, pinky fingers dropping down. Press the upper arm bones back. Feel the rootedness of your sitting bones. Try to knit your front ribs in a bit, so we're taking some of the back bend out of it. Nice and tall through the spine, pressing those upper arm bones back, feeling some heat beginning to build. And we'll release the left arm down to the side. It comes out, reaching it out as you lean to that left side, opening up through right side body. Several breaths. Good. And switching sides, just a few breaths to the other side. So just awakening, saying hello, greeting, and breathing into all of these parts of the body. And we'll come back up to center. All right, tabletop, please. Come on to all fours. Feeling that warmth in the shoulders, that awakening through the spine as we inhale, belly drops, tailbone and heart lift. Look forward. And as you exhale, press into the hands and knees. So just simple cat-cow movements along the spine. Aligning movement and breath together as we greet in the spine today. Good. We'll return to a neutral spine. Turn to look over your right shoulder. Draw your right hip towards the shoulder, making a C curve. Exhale the breath. And with your inhale, come back through center. And exhale into that C curve on the other side. And now side to side on your own. Play around with the pitch of the pelvis, letting the tailbone be dropped or lifting the tailbone up just so you get that right sensation and stretch for your back, your lower back in particular. Good. Now, let's come back to the right side here and pause. Straighten your left leg behind you and send your left toes as far to the right as you can. Turn and look back towards those toes, and with that leg straight, pressing through the heel, breathing into the side body. Opening and releasing. Back to center, both knees on the ground. And we'll turn to the left, so shortening the left side body as we make that C curve. The right leg now straightens, and you bring it again across the body as far as you can, so you can see those toes back there. Press through the right heel, and breathe all along right side body. Come back to center, to tabletop. Press into the hands, arch the spine up, shift the weight more into the hands so the hips come just forward slightly of the knees. The head drops completely, arms are nice and awake as you feel the shoulder blades separating, breathing into the back of the heart, stretching to release all that tension through the upper shoulders. Angry cat. Return to neutral and down into puppy. So keep the hips lifted above the knees, come down onto the forearms here. And we'll straighten the arms. Wrists stay in line with the shoulders and forehead comes down to the floor. So nice. We'll hold here for several breaths, really allowing a nice sinking into the armpit, a nice awakening into the shoulder. So as you inhale, you might feel drawing the front ribs in a bit will help to lengthen the spine. And on exhale, letting heart melt down to the floor. So this movement might be visible. It might be a bigger movement in the body. It might also just be a subtle movement. Something that you feel energetically or with the breath. All right, we'll walk the hands back under the shoulders. Return to tabletop. Once more into the angry cat. So lift and arch the spine, reversing that stretch we just did in puppy pose. Maybe let your head move to one upper arm and then towards the other upper arm, releasing through the neck. And return to neutral. Toes tuck, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back, and we'll walk it out, bending the knees one at a time. Feeling and breathing into the backs of the legs, maybe even into the hips, into the side body. Good. Let's take the feet forward to hands, walking them forward. Feet are wide for ragdoll. Hands to opposite elbows, head hangs heavy here. You can bend the knees or straighten the knees. Sway the torso or hold still. Whatever you need today to get a little deeper into the back body. Good. Hands release down. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, chest and thighs touching. And on your inhale, press into the feet. Roll and round up through the spine. Give yourself a moment to adapt to this upright position here. And please step to the top of your mat. Hands to the heart. Classical sun salutations. We'll go through a few rounds just purely and traditionally in our classical sun salutations. So inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot back, knee down, hips stay low. As you inhale, arms sweep up. Feeling the pose at the top of the inhale, exhale, touch the mat. Inhale, step back, high plank, Phalakasana. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin down to the floor. Inhale, locust pose, Shalabhasana, shoulders lift. Exhale, from the strength of your core, up and back, downward facing dog. Right leg to the sky. Inhale it up. Exhale, step it forward. Left knee to earth. Arms rise. Inhale. Exhale, touch the floor. Back foot steps forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way to standing, gaze to thumbs. Exhale, fold. Swan dive down. Halfway lift, inhale. Heart to horizon. Left foot back. Exhale. Inhale, arms rise, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, touch the floor. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Inhale, shoulders lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg to sky, inhale it up. Exhale, step it forward. Right knee to earth, arms rise. Exhale, touch the mat. Back foot forward, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, deep fold, neck soft here. And all the way up, strong legs, strong spine, rise, gaze to thumbs. Exhale, hands to the heart. That was one round. Let's do another. Inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, fold. Making this like a beautiful, flowing, moving meditation. Inhale, halfway lift. Right foot back on the exhale. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, touch the mat. Step back, inhale into plank. Feel it as a pose. Exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, strong spine as you lift the shoulders. Exhale, strong belly, up and back, down dog. Right leg lifts. Exhale it forward. Knee to floor, arms up. Exhale, touch the mat, back foot steps forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. All the way up, straight legs, straight spine, gaze to thumbs. And we'll dive back down, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot back, exhale. Arms rise, inhale, low lunge. Exhale, touch the floor. Step back, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. Locust pose, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg rises. Exhale, step it forward. Knee to earth. Arms come up. Exhale, touch the mat. Back foot comes forward. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And exhale, hands to heart. Samasthiti. Second round. Very good. Inhale, arms out and up. Little bit different this time. Exhale, fold forward and down. Inhale, halfway lift. Now bend the knees to plant the palms, downward facing dog. Step it back. And let's smooth our breath here. Sending the heels heavy to the earth and hiding those heels behind the ankles. Firm the thighs by lifting up on the kneecaps. Press your thigh bones to the back wall. Knit those front ribs into the body. Lift the front ribs into the body and press into the hands. Feel that nice awakening all through the shoulder, long through the spine. Spiraling the shoulder blades away from the spine too, so we're broad through that upper back. Right leg lifts up behind with an inhale. Good. Exhale and bring it forward between the hands. Left knee comes down to the floor. So this is low lunge again, where we've been. Bring the hands up to the hips here. Keep your hips coming forward and down nice and heavy. So we're really going to sink into this lunge. Hands interlace behind the back. Squeeze the palms, squeeze the shoulder blades. And try to send those hands down to the floor. Now you can lengthen through the crown of the head, or you can lift the chin as you try to open and release into a nice back bend that's squeezing all along the back of the spine. Good, the head will lift. And we'll release the hands on either side. This is where those two blocks will come in really handy. So as we shift the weight back onto the left knee, right leg will straighten. Now slide your heel to the top of your mat. I'll turn over here so you can see. I want this left hip directly above the knee. So we're not back here hovering and using a lot of muscular strength. Make it comfortable. And with hands on blocks, fold out over your right leg. And if you don't need the blocks, that's fine. Hands can come onto the floor. Just depends on your body. Breathing in to that right hamstring. The right foot's firmly flexed, pulling those toes up towards the knee. And enjoying here, hopefully enjoying some deep breaths into the hamstring. I know it can be quite a strong stretch. Head will lift. Now slide that right foot back. Hands onto blocks on either side of that foot. Blocks are in the skyscraper position. Back toe tucks under and lift into high lunge. So double check your right knee. Make sure the knee's not past the ankle. Let's take some pulses here. Inhale, the hips are high. Exhale, sink down into the hips and lengthen through that back big toe. Inhale, hips lift up. Exhale, sink down and in. Again, lengthen that whole left leg out of the hip socket as you come down. We'll take one more. Very good. Preparing for warrior one, drop your left heel in and down. Shorten the stance if you need to. So the heels are aligned. Exhale, hands to hips, belly to spine, and come on up with a straight leg. With the leg straight, draw your right hip back, press your left hip forward. Outer edge of that foot rooted down. Now bend into that right knee and send the arms up. Find your Virabhadrasana 1 here. Relax the jaw, soften the gaze, use your breath. Feel the strength of your legs. Release your hands down so they're in line with the shoulders, right? So hands are straight out from the shoulders. Step down into your right foot like you're stepping on the accelerator. Now draw the belly button into the spine. Press that right hip to the back of the mat and lean forward. So we have a nice long line from the crown of the head through the outer edge of that back foot. Really awakened and strong through the right leg. Drawing that right hip back, pressing the left hip forward, keeping the outer edge of that back foot rooted though. Strong through the core. Lots of breath. Good, we'll take one more inhale. And exhale, hands release down onto the blocks. Straighten the front leg. And again, forehead to shin. Take another deep hamstring release for the right leg. Listening to your ujjayi. Walk your blocks off to the side of the mat. Turn towards the middle. So we're going to turn to the left and bend into that left knee here, taking a nice deep side lunge. Yeah. And then keep the hips low, come back to the right. And back to the left. And as you come back to the right, the hands will frame the right foot, step back, downward facing dog. Walk it out, shake it out. Good. So we'll do that whole series on the other side. Left leg comes up to the sky. And exhale, step your left foot forward between the hands, right knee to the earth. Hands come up to hips. So we're nice and low in the lunge. Send your hands behind, put the opposite thumb on top. Squeeze the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades, send the hands down towards the floor. Lift from the belly button, lift from the chest, lift either through the crown or through the chin. And take several breaths here. Feeling that warmth and squeeze all along the back body, even as our pelvis is moving forward and down towards that front heel. Good, release the head up, release the hands. Hands come onto the block, shift back onto the right knee, left leg straightens, the toes pull up, and again, slide that heel forward to the top of your mat if you need to. And we'll take that deep forward fold, half Hanuman here, half splits. Directing each and every ujjayi breath right into that sense of stretch and release along the hamstring. Good. Come on up. Slide your left foot back. Bring the blocks under the hands on either side of that foot in the skyscraper position, back toe tucks, and the knee lifts. So here we are in high lunge, making sure, again, left knee is just above the ankle there. Hips are high on the inhale, and exhale, really sink down into the hips. So little pulses here. Most importantly, though, is this feeling of the whole right leg lengthening out of the right hip socket. So that right thigh doesn't come down. The right thigh stays lifted all the while. It just grows longer as the pelvis sinks down. That whole right leg stretches out. Good, we'll stay here for a breath. And on our way to warrior one, that back heel drops in and down, and probably this stance is just a little bit shorter here too, so that foot heel toes in. Exhale, hands to hips, belly to spine, and come up with a straight leg. Right hip revolves forward, left hip revolving back. Now bend the knee towards the pinky toe side, send the arms up, focused and steady, strong and yet soft, fully engaged in warrior one, Virabhadrasana. Hands release until they're level with shoulders. Press down into the left ball of the foot. Drive that left hip to the back of your mat and lean forward, belly to spine. Hold here, breathe. Feel the strength of your core, the strength of your leg. Try to knit those front ribs in, stepping down through the ball of the foot. That whole chain in the leg is activated. We'll take one more breath and release the hands down onto the block. Straighten that front leg, and once more bring the forehead down towards the shin. One more full breath here. Move your blocks off to the side. Open up again to the right into that wide-legged position, and we'll bend down into the right knee for a deep side lunge. Left foot flexes, left leg is straight. Keep the hips low as you now come across the mat to the left side. Back to the right, taking your time. And back to the left one last time. And to center. So come to center and straighten the legs, toes point forward, preparing ourselves for a nice wide-legged forward fold here. Adjust the feet as necessary. Take an inhale here with spine parallel to the floor. Then exhale, lower the torso down and find your nice wide-legged forward fold. The hamstrings are getting lots of attention this morning. Breathing into their release, imagining the hamstrings growing and becoming more supple, more elastic, more fluid, more resilient. We'll inhale to come up halfway. Place the right fingertips under the face. As we take a twist, left arm comes up to the sky. Stacking left shoulder on top of right. Try to keep the pelvis somewhat neutral as you press down into the bottom hand to find the twist. Now we're breathing long through the tailbone and the crown of the head, finding length in the spine even as it twists open. Last breath in here. As you exhale, left hand comes down, it replaces the right. Send that right arm up to the sky, twist in the opposite direction again. You want to try to keep the pelvis nice and neutral and find that strength of your core and your bottom arm to help revolve the torso into the twist. And exhale, releasing that hand down as well. All right, one inhale here, heart to horizon, spine nice and long. Exhale, soften the knees, hands to hips, belly to spine, and inhale with a flat back, come on up. Good job. Toes turn out, heels turn in. Temple pose or goddess pose. Hands slide down and sit into these hips here. You can move a bit side to side just to awaken. Good, now press into the feet. We'll take the weight off the hands. So sitting into this temple position, bringing the left hand to the inside of the left thigh, palm faces out, right arm goes up to the sky, and we'll lean to the left here. And we'll switch, so come back to center. Right hand comes down, palm faces out, left arm comes up, and lean to the right. Try to stay nice and low through the hips. And back to center. Okay, we can bring the hands onto the knees again, hallelujah. So take some of that weight off, sink down into the hips a bit more. And we'll add a twist in here. Right shoulder drops in and down, turn to look over the left. So using your breath to lengthen the spine on every inhale. Inhale back to center, and we'll switch sides, left shoulder dropping in and down. And back to center again. Press into the legs, straighten them. We're going to do one more wide-legged forward fold. So toes point forward, but we're going to change it up a bit. It might feel a little bit awkward. Turn your toes in. So heels are wider than toes. This brings a strong internal rotation into the thighs. Hands to hips. Inhale, open up front body. Exhale, hinge from the hips and take your forward fold with the toes turned in. Hands come down, get support where you need it. Shifting the weight forward into the ball of the foot just like we always do. Inhale up halfway, and now you'll move your hands to the top of your mat. Wherever the top of your mat is, walk your hands there, step back, downward facing dog, and walk it out. Right leg comes up to the sky. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, step right foot forward. Crescent pose is where we're headed. So nice wide lateral stance. Slide the back toes back until the heel is just above the ball of the foot there. Exhale, hands to hips. And now lift the torso, straighten this front leg. And exhale, bend down into it. So we did this earlier with hands on the floor. Now we're doing these pulses. We've intensified them a little bit. It feels a lot more like a standing balance when we're pulsing in crescent in this way. All right, knee comes down, we'll stay down, send the arms up. Natarajasana, strong in the legs. Let's add a twist in, right hand to the hip. Inhale up through the left side and take all of that length with you. Wrist to the outside of the knee, hand to sacrum. Option 1, or prayer twist, elbow to the outside of the knee. Option 2. Now, we still want to feel that whole left leg is lengthening out of the hip socket through the back big toe. So that back leg is really strong. Send your right hip to the back of your mat. Left hip comes to the top of your mat, even as you're lengthening that whole left leg out of the hip socket. So we have all these wonderful opposing lines of energy happening to help us deepen our experience. One more breath. Good. Exhale, hands down, step back, down dog, walk it out, shake it out. If you want to lift that right leg into extended down dog and give it a shake, you're welcome to do that as well. All right, left leg comes up to the sky, and exhale, step it forward. Take a nice wide stance if you need that for stability. Slide those right toes back. Exhale, hands to hips, belly to spine. And inhale, lift the torso, leg is straight. Exhale, bend the knee, pulse in, and inhale to back out. One more. Good. Hips are nice and low, send the arms up. Feel your legs open, strong, and long. Left hand to the hip, we'll add in a twist. Inhale up through the right side. And exhale into the twist here. Wrist or elbow to the outside of the knee. Using that back leg, lengthening all the way through the back big toe, even as the right hip is coming to the top of your mat. And left hip is reaching for the back of the mat. Like we're scissoring together the pelvis. And we'll release, hands down to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. Oh, walk it out. And if you want to lift that left leg and give it a shake, that also might feel really good. We're going to bend the knees now, please, to the floor. As we prepare for child's pose, let's use our blocks. Blocks come end to end along the top of the mat. So this will be a child's pose with a little added extra bonus for the triceps. Arms extend out onto the blocks, elbows rest on the blocks. Forehead can either rest on the blocks or come to the floor. So if you're getting plenty of stretch into the shoulder, into the lats, down into the side body, you can stay here. Otherwise, press your palms together, bend at the elbow, and bring the thumbs to the base of the neck. You want to try to keep your elbows in line with the shoulders here. So if the elbows are really far splayed out, see if you can walk them into alignment with shoulders. And energetically, we're lengthening through the elbows and knitting the front ribs in. Feeling that good release through the underside of the upper arm, the tricep. The hands release. We'll come up from our child's, walk those blocks off the mat. Downward facing dog. And take a breath here. Exhale, take your feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Nice and heavy in the head, and inhale all the way up. Straight legs, straight spine. Gaze to thumbs. Exhale, hands around to the heart. Samastiti. Take a breath. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a sequence for dancer pose. So we're gonna get on our way to dancer now. I think our body is nice and ready for this. Let's start with hands on the hips. Shift the weight into the left standing leg. Turn the right palm out so the thumb rotates out, and you'll lift the right foot into the hand. Okay, you're welcome to come to a wall if you need to. Now first, this standing leg is nice and straight, like you're trying to press that thigh bone to an imaginary back wall. And also try to press your two front hip bones into an imaginary wall in front of you. Send your right knee down to the floor, lengthening the knee away from the hip, and then send that knee a little bit behind. Left arm can come up overhead. This is just phase one. We're just gonna stay here. We really want this thigh to stretch and open before we go any further with the pose. So really feel that nice release for the quad. Good, we'll release and switch sides. So we're just stretching these quads out first and building the pose bit by bit. Right toes spread, left palm turns out, kicking at the knee, heel to buttock, grab the inside of the ankle. Right hand can come up at any point to help with your balance. So again, standing leg nice and straight, pressing the two hip bones equally forward, sending your left knee down to the floor and a little bit behind you. Steady gaze, steady breath. Releasing through the front of the thigh. Excellent, and we'll release that down and shake it out. Weight again into the left foot. Right hand turns out, same thing. Kicking your foot up, grabbing with the right hand the inner ankle. Left arm up to the sky. So exact same pose as before, pressing those hip bones forward. Now in a moment we're gonna go a little deeper. What I want you to remember is exceptionally important is that the belly button is lifting up out of the pubic bone. So we have to find that deep strength of our core so that when we come into this standing back bend, we're not just crunching into the lower back. So really activate and try to find that lifting here, lifting from the belly button, lifting from the chest. Now kick the foot into the hand, start to let the knee go back. And as the knee goes back, it stays in line with the hip. As the knee goes back, you might lower the torso down any amount. Steady gaze, steady breathing, Natarajasana. Good, and then slowly release. Come back to center and give that a nice shake. Right leg becomes the standing leg. Left palm turns out, grab on to the inner ankle here. Right arm up to the sky, preparing. So sending that knee down, nice neutral pelvis. Now lift belly button up out of the pelvis, strongly engaged to the core. As you kick the foot into the hand, the knee lifts. As the knee lifts, the torso drops. Any amount, a lot or a little, is wonderful. Lots of breath. Keeping the knee in line with the hip. Keep sending that belly button away from the pubic bone there. Good, and we'll release slowly back to center and shake it out. We're gonna do one more variation of this, and you will need your strap for this variation. So grab your strap and make a loop in your strap that is as wide as one of your arms from the center of your heart out to your arms. That's about the length of the strap. Again, the left leg will be our standing leg. And have the D-rings hovering somewhere in the middle of the loop, because we don't want the metal of the D-rings or the plastic to touch the skin in any way. You'll hold the strap in your right hand and step your right foot into the bottom of the strap. So this is a fuller expression of dancer. We're going to get the upper arms involved, which is why we open the triceps in that child's pose. Okay, let your right hand and foot come out to the side. The knee pretty much stays where it is, and then the strap comes onto the top of the foot. The elbow comes up by the head. Yep, now reach your left arm up as well, and see if you can grab onto the strap and walk your hands down the strap. Focus gaze. Now, lifting from the belly button, keeping the knee in line with the hip, kick the foot into the strap. Let your upper arms go back and keep those elbows and upper arms close to the ear. And you might be able to let your torso come down a bit, but we are more in an upright position in this one, feeling that stretch in the quad, feeling that stretch in the triceps. Lifting the knee, lifting the belly button strong through the core. One more breath. Good, very, very carefully release and come out. Give that a nice shake. Well done. All right, as we're ready, now placing the right foot onto the mat, left foot steps into the strap. We're holding onto the strap with the left hand. The foot and the hand come out to the side. The knee pretty much stays where it is there. And we've got the elbow, the left elbow close to the upper ear. Send the other hand back. Walk the hands down the strap as far as you comfortably can. Remember to lift and engage through the core. Then kick the foot into the strap. Let your upper arm bones go back. Lots of ujjayi. Very nice. And slowly with care, release. Good job. Okay, one more standing balance, again into the left foot. This time right knee lifts, hands interlace around the shins. You're welcome to come to a wall. Stand up nice and tall and hug the knee into the armpit. We do this half Apanasana all the time lying down. And we're just doing it standing up here. Standing up nice and tall. And we'll step that foot down, shake it out, and come to the other side. So same pose as the left knee lifts. And release down. Okay. No fancy transition. Let's just come onto our backs. Please lie down. And hug the knees, both of them together, into the chest. And rock a bit side to side. Come back to center, hold stillness. Left leg straightens out onto the floor. We just did this standing up, and now we'll do it lying down. Hands interlace around the right shin here. And drawing the knee in towards the armpit for several breaths. Figure 4 stretch is next. The left knee lifts, cross the right ankle over the knee, and wrap the hands around the left thigh or shin. Keep your right foot firmly flexed. Breathe into the right hip. your attention go deep into the right hip. Make any micro adjustments, either front to back or side to side, that might help you get just even a nudge deeper into the hip. Feel free to follow any intuition from the body to make these subtle adjustments in the asana. Good. Release your hands and slide the right knee on top of the left. So we've got the thighs together in preparation for spinal twist. The knees come down to the left side. Reach out through the right arm and gaze towards those right fingertips, breathing here. With your next inhale, unwind back to center. Send your left knee in and extend your right leg out onto the mat. Use some arm strength and hug that left knee in, lengthening through the right leg all the while. And we'll release into figure 4. Right knee lifts. Left ankle crosses over the knee. Hands wrap around thigh or shin. And keep your foot firmly flexed. That left one stays firmly flexed as you hug the knees in and breathe into left hip. The breath here, of course, becomes more generous and unhurried, but our quality of attention and awareness doesn't lag. It stays keen, it stays sharp, stays focused on what we're feeling in the pose, working with our body, breathing to our body, making those micro adjustments to get a little deeper or different into the hip. Now hands release, slide that left knee on top of the right with thighs together, knees down to the right side, gazing out towards left fingertips, and breathing. And slowly releasing back to center. Our last pose, happy baby. Draw the knees in, hands reach for the outer edges of the feet, ankles lift, rock side to side, or hold stillness. From here, we'll release. Feet down onto the floor. Our final relaxation pose. Bolster under the knees or just lie flat out onto your mat. Press down into the elbows, walk the shoulder blades together and down in the back. Take a deep breath, letting everything go. We return to this sweet state of stillness, feeling that aliveness, that vibrant energy pulsing in our body. But aware also of a growing sense of calm and connection. Through our yoga practice, we become radiantly alive, fully engaged, and our capacity for calm and peace increases. We learn how to hold these at the same time, peacefulness and a grounded radiance. Letting the fingers and the toes begin to move as we deepen the breath and come back. And the arms and the legs begin to move. As you're ready, stretch the arms up overhead. Take that big breath. Full body stretch. Rolling over to one side. And slowly, don't let me rush you. Take your time. Come on back. As we complete where we began in this Sukhasana pose, palms touch at the heart center. Just a moment here for gratitude. So remember from the heart, at the level of feeling, what you're thankful for, what abundance and blessings you have in your life, what abundance and blessings you witness in the world around. And rather than thinking about it, really feel it. Bring the lived experience of thankfulness and gratitude into the heart. And then it's from here, from this grateful heart, that we'll seal our practice with our closing chant. Let's exhale our breath. And inhale deeply together. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. there be peace, peace, peace unto us all, forever and ever. Thank you.